going to lead your franchise and your company to, up here. CM Punk was never that guy who was going to lead up here. To be honest with you, the only one, and I hate to say it, the only one that's going to lead the company up here is Cena. Because Cena's the face of the franchise. Doesn't matter what spin they do on Raw. He's a 15-time champion. He's Mr. Charity. I mean, Mr. Charity.
That's
the guy does 3 times the amount of wishes than any other wrestler in the company.
But I do like the direction they're going with Cena. Have him with the U.S. title. Keep him out of the main event picture. Let him, as much as you can say, legitimize the U.S. title nowadays. And
he gives credibility to the U.S. title. He
exactly.
does.
He brings credibility, and he also allows other wrestlers who deserve to be in a main event picture get to that main event picture.
And that's what they're missing with the Intercontinental Championship. Daniel Bryan would have brought credibility back to the title. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to him with his body breaking down on him. I did like Wade Barrett with the Intercontinental Championship. I felt that a guy of his caliber, being from England, I felt like he could bring credibility. Like, I hated when Cody Rhodes had it. What the hell is the name? He's got 15 different damn names. Mr. Perfect's kid.
Oh, Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. Yeah, I didn't like when it was cool that he had it because it was like, daddy had it, son has it. But he didn't do anything with it. And now he's like a glorified jobber. So it's like, now he's got the Hulkamania thing going. And,
come on, don't say glorified jobber. He's Hulkamania, right?
Yeah. Axelmania. He's a jobber. So is Kane. But, it just, now I read that McMahon wants to give Kane that one last push. Well, if you want to give him that one last push, he's a 300-pound, 7-foot guy. Here's your super heavyweight. This is a guy that should be in the heavyweight title picture.
What year did Kane come in?
97?
You should know this, Nick.
What was the question?
Year Kane started.
As in that gimmick?
As Kane or Isaac Yankem?
Well, you know what? I really forgot about that one.
Yeah, there's a reason
DDS.
for that.
As Kane, it was 97. DDS, I want to say it was like 94.
Wow.
Or possibly even 93. I'm not quite sure, but I know it was because obviously Jerry Lawler was
once
still a
the
mainstay
studio
on
is
the
done,
roster.
we'll have somebody sitting there doing research. We're going to have that computer there, and somebody's going to be like, boop, 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 boop. Oh, well, there you go. We got the answer.
I want to say as Isaac Yankem, it was probably like 93, 94, and he also and then as Kane, 99% sure it was Bad Blood in 97.
Dirtbag Dan.
Dirtbag Dan just texted me. Kane debuted in 93.
Yeah, but was that as
93?
Kane?
Yep.
I don't think that was as Kane.
No, that was DDS.
That was Isaac.
DDS.
Isaac Yankem.
Yeah.
So, Isaac Yankem in 93, and then it was Kane in 97.
And Kane debuted with Paul Bearer, right? That was the whole thing.
Yep.
Right.
So
as the brother.
It was during the Undertaker Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, he ripped the door off.
Yeah. It's funny because that's like the era of wrestling, that WWE wrestling. I guess that was like the Attitude Era, like near the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Ruthless Aggression Era, whatever you want to call it. I didn't watch. I watched WCW, but
I watched both.
I watched WCW because I grew up I'm an '80s guy. I grew up with the golden era of wrestling, so when they all jumped ship, it was just easy for me to go with them.
They popped too early and it fell too quick.
Well, it fell too quick because you have 1,000 Indians running around and no chief. That's what the problem is that everybody had glorified control over their characters, but nobody had control over any of them. So, if Hogan got what Hogan wanted, Show got what Show wanted, Nash got what Nash wanted, and Bischoff just sat there and handed out paycheck after paycheck after paycheck, and Ted Turner just signed them. So, I mean...
And that's what I did. That's what I did like about the '90s is I watched both promotions, and I liked the competitiveness between the two promotions. They pushed one another.
They raised the bar.
That's what they did.
Until 2001, obviously, and that's what I think as wrestling fans, I think that's something we're missing right now.
We're absolutely missing that because WWE is going to say, "Here you go, take it or leave it." We don't have to raise the bar. We have no competition. TNA, garbage.
I mean, you have ROH, but it's not nationally televised.
If you don't like it,
is.
Don't watch it. And most people don't. They get the network so they can watch back in the day.
Yep.
When the bar was being raised and being forced to be raised even higher. That's why people watch the network. They're not watching the network so they can get the free pay-per-view, because half the pay-per-views are boring. So what do you do if there's like last pay-per-view? I fell asleep through half of it.
Yep, I fell asleep in the main event, actually.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And you knew who was going to win because they're already advertising Seth Rollins down the road defending his championship at Madison Square Garden.
I think that's the mistake they're doing.
So, I mean, it's a big mistake, and again, but this is the power of the internet. This is the problem. If WWE is coming to a town near you, there's a big ass poster there. So what do people do? They take pictures of the poster. They post it on Facebook. Yay! WWE's coming to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and then it gets spread all over the internet. And what's on the poster? Seth Rollins defending the title against Kane. And everybody's like, well, I guess he's going to win the title, keep the title at the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Hello, dumb. Like, seriously. I mean, back in the day, they used to, if you remember wrestling on Saturday and Sunday mornings, at the end, they used to do the WWE calendar and had Howard Finkel doing it.
Right.
And he'd be going, they would never name names. They would just say, WWE will be near you, and they would say, at, San Francisco, California, at this arena, blah, 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 this arena, blah, 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 this arena, blah, 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 this arena. And they would never name names. So you didn't know who you were getting until you showed up at the arena, and you would get handed a photocopied paper card of who was going to be there. And then for $250 you could buy a program, which was the same wherever you went for 6 months.
It's not even the point of naming names. It's the point of already setting matches. You can say Seth Rollins, Kane, Cena, Ambrose, Reigns, whatever, they're all going to be there. That's fine.
Yeah, you can say that. Seth Rollins is going to be there. You don't have to say heavyweight champion Seth Rollins is going to be there defending his title.
Exactly. Just say these wrestlers are going to be there.
This is all marketing.
Say heavyweight champ.
That's the problem. It's all marketing. It's all promoting. It's all the creative team. This is where I feel WWE lacks in the back. I'm not going to blame Triple H, because I think if Triple H has total 100% control over the product, all this might stop.
And I'm a big fan of NXT. And if you actually watch it like week after week and watch the special events, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, he is doing an absolute phenomenal job down there with the talent that he has, that he's brought in, the matches that they're putting on. Their pay-per-views are only 2 hours long, but they're 10 times more entertaining than any main card pay-per-view that you go see. I think he is doing an absolutely phenomenal job, and whenever he does take over the company with Steph, I think it'll only be for the better. And that's not downing Vince McMahon at all. That's just saying what a great job Triple H has been doing down in NXT.
I agree. And NXT is kind of like, now people have a goal at Indy. They have a goal. They say, all right, you know what? It used to be, I just want to get noticed. I want to get noticed. Maybe I'll get to OVW. Maybe I get to Florida Championship Wrestling. Maybe I'll get, I just want to get noticed. I want somebody to notice me. Give me a phone call. Hey, I saw you. Blah blah. You're very good. Would you interested? Coming here to try out. NXT is like the ultimate goal. It's not WWE anymore.
Yep.
Because you're allowed to wrestle it at NXT.
Yep,
the
exactly.
girls get to wrestle. The guys get to wrestle. They get to
true.
Really like customize their character. They're not told, well, you made it here doing this, but we're going to totally change you and make you look terrible. They let you excel at what got you there. Now, when you get to WWE, that's when Vince McMahon gets in and changes everything.
It limits you, yeah.
The girls don't wrestle no more. They become glorified pinup girls on that stupid Diva show that ruins everybody's career. Just Paige.
You bring Paige in as the anti-diva.
She's the most recent victim of that show.
But the thing is, you bring Paige in as the anti-diva, and you throw her on Total Diva. Where in God's name does that make sense?
Yep. She got to NXT. She was NXT. She was the anti-diva.
Exactly.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
And then she gets to
she
WWE
like
and they put her on the Total Diva
too.
show.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Paige is absolutely gorgeous, but she is not in any sense the prototypical diva.
Yeah,
and that's why I
she's
thought
not-
the
she's not Nikki
anti-diva
and
gimmick was
Brie,
perfect.
She's not like, even like Cameron or Naomi. Beautiful women, but they have so much talent that they're, now Naomi's getting a little bit of exposure now, but they're not allowed to use it.
Yeah, but what's going on with her tag team partner? That's what I want to know.
Tamina?
Yeah.
Tamina just got back. If you saw, she got that big erector set on her knee. She can barely move still.
Oh, wow.
She had complete reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a while before they get her anything meaningful.
Wow.
So I said she should have been champ when her and AJ Lee were partnering, together, and she was getting tired of AJ Lee's antics, and I really thought that was the point. I really think that's where they were headed, was Tamina was going to take the title for AJ Lee, but then she got hurt.
The big thing is we've really never heard her on the mic too much.
She can't be any worse than her father. So Jimmy Slick was terrible, terrible on the mic. That's why I didn't even ask him for a promo in the 2 shows I seen him. I'm like, no way. He was bad. He was bad. I mean, if you remember the whole Roddy Piper coconut thing and in the interviews, he was just, he was like, Roddy Piper, I'm coming for you. And I'm like, really? That was it? And I'm like, all right, crew, great. But that's where wrestling was great though, because it was like 80% promos, 20% wrestling on Saturday mornings. Hogan fought 5 times a year, but he was always doing promos every single weekend. He was there for every pay-per-view, and occasionally those, Saturday night main events, but he was on every weekend cutting a promo.
Yeah, he was.
Nobody
and
complained
that's
back
the
then
thing.
about a part-time champion.
And that's why a lot of these older guys right now from that golden era have, at least maybe they might have a match left in the gas tank, because they were only wrestling 4 or 5 times a year back in the 80s.
We got Hogan wants to come back and wrestle at the next WrestleMania. He's trying to get himself in shape. Talk to Vince. Vince says, you get the okay from the doctor, we'll give you a match.
Yeah, and I mean, do I want to see Hogan wrestle? Maybe not.
I think I do. I think, you know what? I'm not even a Hogan fan. I hated Hogan. I hated Hogan. I loved him when he was with the NWO, the heel turn. I loved Hogan. He was such a badass heel. And then when he came back to WWE and he beat Triple H, and I'm just like, and then he got squashed by Lesnar in that match, just like, but you know what? He's still Hogan. He comes out to that ring, and the place loses their freaking mind.
Of course.
And him versus Rock was one of the best matches I've ever seen Hogan wrestle.
Yep.
It was great. I mean, that place, Toronto Sky Dome, absolutely unglued. That was better than the main event.
Yep.
So maybe it comes down, and maybe he's got one more match in him. Maybe, obviously he's not going to be able to wrestle some old guy, because then that match.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe
so you need somebody that can carry a match with him,
Maybe
obviously.
he wrestles Triple H one time. Maybe Triple H wants that ultimate revenge for losing the title to Hogan. Maybe
Triple H is some kind of.
I think
Triple H is some kind of cyborg, because the guy gets in better shape as he ages, and he should be one of those guys that even though he only wrestles a match or 2 a year, he should be wrestling in his mid-60s.
Well, Triple H, he's one of those freak of nature, so...
Exactly. He's not human.
I'm sure he wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's doing, some crazy-ass training. But he has getting ready for wrestling training, and then he has regular training. Because when he was on Stone Cold's podcast, and they were talking about him versus Sting, and they said, is this match ever going to happen? And they kind of let it slip, because Stone Cold says, you've been waking up doing your getting ready to wrestle training. And then a couple minutes later, he was like, is this match ever going to happen? And Triple H was like, yeah, I think it's going to happen. You're ready to let the cat out of the bag. You're already training to get back in the ring.
Bingo.
So,
yeah.
So, I mean, it happens. But, and then, did they have the one with him and Paul Heyman yet?
No, that's, I think that's in a couple weeks or something.
That one I'm looking forward to.
I cannot
wait a minute.
wait for that.
June 1st.
June 1st?
June 1st, okay.
That's what I'm looking forward to, because, and I say that I told Nick this 2 years ago. The only reason why Paul Heyman is still in the WWE is because Vince McMahon will pay him anything he wants to keep him there and not going somewhere else and opening up his own brand.
Yep, that's exactly why he does.
Never thought of that.
That guy is a genius. He's a crazy bastard as a businessman. Like, he should not